Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have one of Tacoma's gems. I can remember when we first heard about Tacoma Refugee Choir, and the question was, well, what is Tacoma Refugee Choir? Well, the question these days is what isn't Tacoma Refugee Choir, because they are everywhere. So please join me in welcoming back Erin Guinup. You are the executive and artistic director of Tacoma Refugee Choir. Good morning, my dear.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's good to have you here. You brought with you a guest this time who has an incredible name, Terry Rubenecca. Wow. I mean, I want that name. You are the Tacoma Refugee Choir member coordinator. Welcome to Cityline, Terry.
Thank you, Amanda.
It's good to have you here. So, Erin, let's start with the pandemic. We're still in it. It's long. We're coming up on almost a year of shelter in place on March 3rd. It's truly taking its toll on everyone. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm doing okay. I think it's been a hard time, and there are definitely weeks that are harder. This January's been harder, especially for me, but then I show up on Tuesday and have people sing with me, and it helps us get through. We're getting through this together.
In my world, music heals everything. And I think that both of you would agree with that. So when you talk about Tuesday, when you get to show up and be a part of the collective of music, how has the choir adapted during the pandemic? And describe to us, when you say show up, for people who are not aware of how the Tacoma Refugee Choir gets together, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we all sign on to Zoom on Tuesday nights, and we start with some games. One of our choir members, Kim Song Lord, leads these really fun activities, and then we'll do some singing. And it's weird because we're not singing. Latency prevents us from hearing one another most of the time. However, we do have one tradition: when we're singing Happy Birthday, we turn it all on, and it's a big cacophony of sound. It's hysterical. And then we have some really important discussions. Lately, we've been having a lot of deeper conversations about the impact of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and what being a refugee actually signifies.
You know, you and I have had many talks about the Tacoma Refugee Choir and what it is like to welcome one of your members who has just moved here. And that was before the pandemic. So when we think about why is it important to keep singing during these times, some people would say, well, why don't you just stop singing? Because it's got to be so complicated. And as you said, we can't really hear each other. Why do you continue, Erin, to do this?
Well, I think that there's power in knowing that we're all united in one activity together. And I think that there's power in coming together. I think Thierry can speak to the impact that this has had on him and seeing what happens when you are united in a common purpose. I think that's one of the things that we lose during the pandemic.
So Thierry, as Erin said, when we talk about how choir has impacted individuals, how has it impacted you?
There's a lot of ways that I'd say that the choir has impacted me, but most of them is that the choir has given me a purpose to continue doing the work that I love, continue helping my fellow refugees and immigrants to resettle here and integrate themselves in the society. But most of all, I think the choir has given me a place to look forward to every week, rather than just sitting home and worry about the virus and how it's affecting people that I left back home, or how it's affecting other refugees and immigrants, or even just friends in general that I used to meet before the pandemic happened. So every week looking forward to that kind of gives you a purpose and a reason to survive this whole pandemic.
So Thierry, now you have piqued my interest, because now I want to know, when you said your family and friends, where are you from and how long have you been in Tacoma?
Well, I'm from Democratic Republic of Congo. That's where I was born. And then I left the Democratic Republic of Congo at the age of 9 years old after the war broke out. And I went to seek refuge in Uganda, where I kind of sort of grew up in refugee camps and until I moved here. I did not leave Uganda until 2017. So I've been in Tacoma for about 4 years now. And it's been amazing living here. I've made some good friends. I've created connections and tried to help people as much as I could. I've met the beautiful Erin with the Tacoma Refugee Choir that I found also a different kind of family of music, love, and hope. Uh, but at the same time, I left relatives back home. I've left friends in Uganda that you also worry about, like as in you move in journey, you keep building connections and friends. So yeah, I worry about those people that I also left behind, but at the same time, I've made new connections here and new friends that I haven't seen really regularly since the pandemic. So you also worry about those ones too. And sort of the choir gives us that space that we we keep connecting with each other during this time and singing together.
So Thierry, what drew you? Well, first off, how did you hear about Tacoma Refugee Choir, and then what made you join?
I heard about Tacoma Refugee Choir in 2017 through another member that is called Leilani. And she was just telling me these amazing things about Tacoma Refugee Choir because one point we met and she was asking me about like, what do I do or what have I done? And I was telling her how before I moved here, I used to promote African music through a digital platform, and I love music. I've always loved music. I come from a country that loves music, Congo, very good at music and dance. So she told me about the choir and told me how amazing of a fit that it would be for me. But at the time that we talked to Leilani, I was working for Lutheran Immigration Services as a translator and a transportation coordinator for the refugees and immigrants in Tacoma. Then I really didn't have the time to join the choir back then, but it's still something that picked up my interest. And I remember sending my mom and my sister to one of the shows that they had at TCC. So before even joining the choir, I was already interested in the choir and the work that they did. So last year, I received a call from from the director of Lutheran Immigration Services because as the pandemic kicked in, most of us lost the jobs because there was really no refugees coming in or immigrants coming in. So definitely there was no work. So he calls me and he tells me, hey, you know what? I spoke to this amazing lady called Erin from the Tacoma Refugee Choir, and I believe like this work really fits in what you want to do. And so the rest is history. I talked to Erin and I just told her, like, this is my calling. I feel like I'm at home. I want to do this. I want to work with people that love music and people that are helping refugees and immigrants and making a change in our society or community. And I jumped onto the train and it's been amazing ever since.
I have a feeling that it's very mutual, that it's been amazing ever since, as Erin is shaking her head. What a fabulous story. I can't wait for us to be together in person so I can listen to that great singing. Erin, in addition to your flagship program, you've begun a new program for grades 6th grade through 12th. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. This fall, we started a partnership with Tacoma Schools for a teen choir, and we've since expanded that. It's after school. It's called Teen Sings, and it's open to any student who wants to sing in a community and be part of singing with purpose. So people can join, and we're training young leaders to help lead songs so that it's youth-led ultimately, and creating space where we can have fun, but also reflect on these challenges we're facing and put some perspective on these challenges.
You know, my life, I grew up singing in choirs, as you know, and also taking voice lessons. And if I close my eyes and think about a family that I had through junior high and high school, it was my choir family. That was where I went fifth and sixth period. I had choir rehearsal after school. We always had concerts. And I think about the stability and the unity that it gave me. And then I think about these young teens not having, or at least grades 6 through 12, having that removed because of the pandemic, and what a wonderful balm you've given them back. So Erin, how does one join Teen Sings program?
Absolutely. You just go to our website. There's a TRC Teen Sings. The students sign up and they'll get a Zoom link and be able to join the program. It's completely free thanks to our funders, including Tacoma Creates, and so grateful to be able to offer this at a time. As you mentioned, our teens have and young adults have borne some of the worst brunt of this, along with refugees and immigrants in our community. And we owe it to them to provide these resources to help them to heal from the instability and trauma of this time.
Absolutely. When does the group meet, Erin?
Wednesdays from 4 to 5:15.
And so I would love to think a family could put their age appropriate young people in there. And then if the parents wanted to join Tacoma Refugee Choir, how does one do that?
Absolutely. You can also sign up for Tacoma Refugee Choir at refugeechoir.org.
So what's next? We've got some holidays coming up. We've got spring coming up. I know you have something in the chute.
I have mischief up my sleeve. We are, thanks to a grant from Greater Tacoma Community Foundation, we're going to be starting soon to rehearse from cars using radio to hear one another. We're super excited about this technology way of working around things. And we are planning a drive-in concert in May that we hope will be well attended by the community as we sing and celebrate together.
That is an amazing idea. Okay, so I just can't let you end it on that. Were you just laying in bed and suddenly you thought drive-through radios? What was the genesis of this?
Oh, it's not my idea. A colleague of mine in Virginia created the idea, and so we've had conversations on the phone and worked out what we needed so that we could get the right resources together. So we'll be soon testing this out over the next couple of weeks. And but I'm really excited about the concert because I have we're going to turn that everyone in. It's going to be a sing-along like all our concerts are, with horns and windshield wipers being part of the music.
Oh, I love this. And will there be popcorn?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's not on the plans yet, but I'm sure people can bring popcorn.
There we go. Last question for you, Erin. As always, you are the epitome of gratitude. Who would you like to thank?
We are so thankful to so many foundations like the Bamford Foundation, again, Tacoma Creates, which has been pivotal to our success, and Tacoma Arts Commission, Vogt Foundation, Forest Foundation. We're so grateful for these foundations, but we're especially grateful to funders, donors, and individuals who believe in this work and see that it's changing lives. It's hard to quantify. We're not giving out 500 meals, but we are changing lives one at a time, and it's powerful.
I have always said and felt that music is food for the soul, and it heals, it creates, it unites, and I can't think of a better thing to do during this pandemic than to get together and to sing. And the serotonin levels must go through the roof when you guys are together. So I want to say thank you so much to you, Thierry, for what you do for the choir and for your beautiful, brilliant light that shines from you. And Erin, for you, you are endless. I don't think you sleep much because you're always creating. So I want to say thank you so much to both of you today for being on the show. And I can't wait to drive my car in May and sit there and honk, 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 and maybe I'll bring enough popcorn for everybody.
Sounds great.
Love you, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you. We have much more to come on Cityline, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick break.